up, man?
There he is.
Hold on, I can't see you yet.
We got your audio. It's connecting. There it goes. Takes a minute sometimes.
Is that okay? Does that look all right?
Yo, you're good, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm
It's
great.
Dustin, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but I talked to you it's probably like 2 years ago now when you played with Ingve in Agora Hills
Yes.
at the Canyon Club.
Yes, that's right, man. I remember that.
And I had these cruddy little clip mics that were not working well. So I think this is a much better format to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, you came out to the show.
Yeah. We came out and saw you play.
Yeah, very cool. Well, here we are. We're still at it, man.
That's awesome, man. Where are you based in? Are you based in SoCal? Are you in SoCal right now?
No, I was out there a week or two ago, but I'll be back out next week. I've been in Detroit. I bought a lake house up in Michigan, so I go there to chill when I'm not on the road or doing a movie. And now I'm at my studio up in my office in Cincinnati, where my green screen is and where we rehearse before tours. So taking my mom to a Reds game tonight. So
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you about this. This is one of the things we've been kind of talking about a little bit, and I've been thinking about it a lot. And I was just about to bring it up before you jumped on. Is someone brought up this point about, we were talking about classic records, and you know, I'd love to hear your comments on this because you're probably someone who's seen both sides of this. But we were talking about how classic records, like, you know, there's so many classic records out of the 80s and the 70s and even the 90s. And this guy brought up a great point actually in our comments. He goes, the reason that this has changed so much is everyone does Pro Tools now and they're on that grid, and music has lost some of that personality because everything's so machine-like now. And so do you record that way? And what do you think in general about that? Do you think that there's any truth to that? Or, you know, what are your thoughts in general on that?
Well, I think that music now can, yes, it can be made in a can or computer, if you will. And when I hear songs that don't have a real drums on it and stuff, it just drives me crazy. But I understand why. I mean, that people seem to be sensitized now to that, you know, that kind of drum instead of the real deep, like John Bonham or, you know, or Bunny Carlos or any of those kind of, you know, the real drums.
Yeah.
That's what makes me the most crazy. Everything else, I mean, yeah, you can plug your guitar into Pro Tools and play the guitar, and then you use all these plugins and change it all and all that. But when I listen back to the old classic rock in the 70s and 80s, I want to hear the guitar that was so simplistic, and yet it rocked, and it filled our brain with the same emotion. Now it like fills my brain with chaos a little bit too much, depending on the type of song you're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. The simplicity, it's like the simplicity of rock has gone away the way it was back in the day, but the simplicity is here in the way you can record now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can overdo it now because it's so simple to do it now. Where back then, okay, we had to get that good bass line, or we had to get that good. It was simple, but it yet still resonated with people.
Well, in
now it's simple in a technology way, and it's resonating with the masses because that's all they hear.
Yeah, totally.
Unless we bring them back to that, you know what I mean?
I was watching this thing with Butch Vig talking about cutting up tape and like editing tape. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I can't even imagine that. Like we have Pro Tools and the way that we can edit things now. Just the amount of dedication it took to like go in and like cut tiny pieces of tape to edit a record together. And he's talking about cutting strips of it even, you know?
I know. I go to Chris Lord-Alge's, you know, him and I, you know, we're together quite often and we're friends. And yeah, he's got the old tape machine. I'm like, man, I can't believe how people could even do it this way back. But that's when the bands camped out in the studio and it was like, your turn, you're up. You know what? It's totally different now. Totally
that guy's
different.
A legend.
Now we all can record it from different rooms in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
there's something cool about that, but I just thought that guy's comment really struck me because so much of the modern music sounds like it's just like timed, like everything is timed, and whereas like the appeal of a Zeppelin record is that natural kind of push and pull and ebb and flow
right.
of the music.
Exactly. It's more, yeah, let's put on the metronome, let's put on the click and boom, boom, boom. And then they can speed it up. You can record it slow, they can speed it up. It's like you can manipulate it so easy now. Or back in the
Yeah.
day, it was simplistic from the fact it was musicianship and you had to nail your part and they didn't try to overdo anything. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion on it.
No, it's cool. It's a cool time, I think, because to your point, the technology is available and anyone can easily record. But I feel like even I watch like my son's generation, I feel like there's almost like a backlash to that mechanical nature of a lot of the newer, like kind of EDM driven type stuff, and more of like a desire for like just a raw, off the cuff rock band that just plays and doesn't like rely too much on computers or anything,
But back then, what did we like to do? We like to listen to that rock and roll, turn it up on our turntable. What were we back then? If you were really getting crazy, you were doing a little acid, some quaaludes, little of the old cocaine cut in half. You were smoking weed, you were drinking beers. And now all these kids are, I don't even know what they're taking, all these synthetic drugs. And it's like those kind of drugs now almost cater to this chaotic fucking noise, this
yeah,
crazy. And back then we just wanted to chill,
that's true. It's true. You just got me thinking about too, how like guys like Keith Richards and are still alive, it's like, it says something about the power of rock, and even just like that lifestyle, if you can manage it and you can, like Mick Jagger is in his 80s now or something, right? And they're still touring. It's amazing.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago. This air should shut off in a minute. Look at all the guys in rock and roll, and they were known as the big partiers and all, but they're all living to be in their 80s and
Yeah,
90s or the 70s, and it's crazy if you think about all the stories and everything. But I don't know, man. It's a lifestyle. They're doing what they love to do. They're not stressed out. Stress kills, I think, a lot more than habits, and if you can live in a rhythm and do what you like to do and not stress, you're going to live a lot longer, I believe, instead of listening to what everybody else tells you to do this, do this, do this. Well, who are you to tell me how my body feels? I know how my body feels, and I'm going to do what I like to do. I like to smoke, so I'm going to smoke. And if I quit smoking, I'll probably stress out. And my doctor even told me once, he said, Kurt, I'd rather you quit drinking beer because it's like it's just so much more worse for you and your blood pressure and everything than smoking if you had to quit. So, last time we met a couple of years ago, I was a lot bigger than I am now. And I was drinking beer all the time. I quit drinking beer a year ago. I've lost like 50 pounds. So I've got working out. I'm on shit. My whole stage show's different now. I feel better now than I did when I was, young. So
that's awesome. In fact, before you came on, I was watching a video with Corey from Slipknot, and he was talking about his age, because he's almost 50, and he was just talking about how he's like, yeah, I've got some battle scars and stuff, but I quit doing drugs and drinking and stuff, and it's like I still eat some crappy food now and then, but it's for the grind. Like, people don't realize what a grind it is to tour and do these shows. It's a lot heavier than people give it credit for.
It's a battle. It's not easy. It's a grind. And especially if you're like me and you gave it up at 20 and then you decided to come back midlife, and, but I knew I was well equipped from a mental standpoint and from a business standpoint to figure out who's with me, who's not, who's trying to jerk me around, who's not. And I couldn't have picked a better time to come back. And I'm the kind of guy who's going to fulfill my dream. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it. And we haven't even been touring 2 years now. The Jeff Tate tour was the first one. This will be 2 years in September. And we're already now we're going out with Buck Cherry, Skid Row, and the gang's all here. Then we're going to be out with Mushroom Head for the month of October. And then I think we're going to do a smaller club headline tour at the beginning of the year, January, February, and go back to these cities we've been playing 3 or 4 times. And let's see what the fans are all about, and put on
That's awesome.
Show and get crazy. So
we're talk about there. Go ahead. Sorry.
We're getting there.
So talk about what you're working on right now. Are you working on any new music? You got an album in the can or anything? Like, what's going on creative wise with you?
Well, a lot's going on creative wise. We did some Tesla dates this year, and in between those, which were all great shows, I shot a movie in March out in LA in Altadena called Scared to Death, which will be coming out hopefully into theaters here real soon. It's starring me, Lynn Shay from Insidious, and Something About Mary, and Kingpin. Everybody knows Lynn Shay, and Bill Moseley from the Rob Zombie movies, Devil's Rejects.
Okay.
So the 3 of us star in this horror. It's kind of a horror comedy, it'll scare you, and then you'll just get a chuckle and all. It's just killer. So we hope that'll be big in theaters here soon, and it's about done. I'm going out to LA to screen it next week with Lynn. So I've been doing that. I just finished scoring the song for the movie called Scared to Death with Brian Wheat, my manager, Sammy Bowler, my guitar player. And then I went out to LA and did a bunch of vocals and crazy shit with Chris Lord-Alge. So it's being mixed right now. So that's coming. We just released a new single, Doom. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but it came out August 11th, our new single. And that's from the movie that I star in called Hellbilly Hollow that hasn't come out yet, but that's being shopped right now. So I got Doom just dropped. You can stream it anywhere you stream music. It's out on Spotify, Apple, all that. So I'm really proud of Doom, and hopefully you'll dig it if you haven't listened to it when you check it out.
I didn't check it out yet. I will though. I'll actually probably cut in a clip from it when I edit this out.
Yeah, if you would, that'd be great, man.
Totally.
It's a killer tune, and I think you can see the progression of Kurt Deimer, the artist, and we had that EP come out, and then we've dropped My Dad, Hero, and now Doom, our latest single. And we're in the right now, once I get done with the tour with Mushroom Head in October, in November, December, we're going to be finishing our debut album. We're going to put out vinyl. I'm going to make it like back in the old day, flip it open. It's a double album, and it'll probably have the top 14 to 16 Kurt Deimer songs to introduce to the world. You'll be able to buy it on vinyl, cassette, CD, stream it everywhere. There'll be a big campaign behind it. It might be a few from the original EP, some of the other singles we've released, and then new music we're working on. So I probably got about 30 to 40 songs in the can, and it's hard to pick which ones I want to put out on this, but when I do, it's going to be epic. So
awesome. Yeah, vinyl's like really huge now too. So I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, I always loved it. I loved, like, what was it, Rush Hemispheres or 2112 or any of those albums where I could buy them. It was a double album set. I could open them up. I feel it's very important to come out that way with the debut album. Then you can learn about the band, where we came from, what all I'm doing, what all I'm involved in, what I believe in, and we've refined who the band is. We have an identity now, and when we come on stage, we just bring it right to your face. And I'm more me now. I'm not trying to be not me. I've really settled into myself as a human being, and I can see the difference when I'm out. I meet with the fans after every time we play. We're really building a family, and people are really getting now to know who Kurt Deimer is now that I've settled into my role as the front man and how I want to perform for everybody.
It's funny. There's been a theme the last couple interviews I've done about this live thing where it's like I look at a band like Metallica, for example. And a big part of their success and the reason that they're so huge now is because they spent years going out on the road and impressing people live and then staying until 2 a.m. and shaking everybody's hands, you know?
Yes, yes, I'm a big believer in that. I will take pictures with anybody. You see me outside a venue before a show, I'll talk to anybody. I am a man of the people, and I believe without the people, I couldn't do what I love to do. Whether you like my music or you don't, great. If you don't, just be nice, move on. I don't like everybody's music, but I don't sit there and trash it. And we just want to get that. We just want to get our 1% of the world. And you know how many people that is? A lot. So,
Yeah.
and it's all
Yeah.
people like yourself spreading the word, talking to me or putting a clip of Doom on. It's grassroots. And I don't have all the time like Metallica did because they started so young, but there's one or two of our songs start to resonate with people and they start spreading it. I mean, who knows, it could 2-3 years from now. I figure this is our decade. So I want
Yeah.
to be remembered as the big rock band that came out of the 20s.
Well, and there's even if people don't adore your music or it's not getting played everywhere, there's real value in going out and doing that and talking to people. I can't tell you like probably the best example I can give you is I talked to the guy from Drowning Pool a couple weeks ago, and they had that one hit, Bodies, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. I never really paid much attention to Drowning Pool. And then just talking to this guy, CJ, their guitar player, the coolest guy. Coolest guy. And and so just that conversation made me go, oh wow, makes me want to dig into their catalog and like really listen to what they've been up to. And it's not something that I probably would have done had I not had that opportunity to talk with him and go, wow, this guy's super cool. Now I'm really interested in giving another listen.
Super cool guy, and they grind it out, and they're nice people. And we did a little run of shows with them last year, and I went on rocked with CJ and the Drowning Pool guys. So yeah, it was they're great people, and it's right. I mean, Bodies was their ticket into getting people to listen to everything else, and you've just got to have that one song, and then you keep creating, and hopefully we'll be fortunate enough, our band and with my music, that once one resonates, people will go back and see, okay, these are pretty killer kick-ass rock and roll tunes, and this is right in my face, rock and roll. So we're doing it our way. I don't want to be fitted into a genre or a label. I just want to be Kurt Deimer. And when you come see me, I might be crazy. I might not be. We're going to rock. We're going to rock right into your face. And when you're going to go home and go, damn, where did they come from? That's all. That's my goal.
That's how you do it. Talk a little bit, or just I'm always curious to hear musicians talk a little bit about their influences and bands that inspire them, whether it's what really got you into music back in the day or what you're listening to now, like, before you came on. Anything?
Well, I always liked music. Early on, I was, in probably my middle school years, I always worked. But when I was not working or cutting lawns or doing whatever, I was living in Houston, which was a great place for arena rock. So I first saw Jackson Browne, then I went and saw Charlie Daniels Band. Then I'm seeing Iron Maiden before Bruce. Then I'm seeing UFO opening up. I'm seeing Cheap Trick. I'm seeing Rush. I saw Ozzy and Randy Rhoads, AC/DC, The Police. I mean, all this. I'm going to these arenas, Styx, and I'm like, I think I'll be too nervous to be on stage and do this, but how fun would that be to go out and impact people's lives the way these bands are? And that's what really gave me the itch to want to give it a go and see if I could actually conquer my fears, be a front man, and take the talent that I had writing, just being able to write and communicate with people through my writing and present it to them in a rock and roll format. Because I love reggae music. So I easily could have started a reggae type band, but I think I can get my message across to more folks across the globe by going back to my roots. And that's these rock shows I used to go see when I was a kid, Black Sabbath, all that. Just, I was in awe of these people. And I put it in my head, if I could ever do that someday at the right time, in the right place, in the right state of mind, I would. And here we are.
That's awesome. So in the immediate, what's going on? When's you guys' next show?
Right now, taking mom tonight to the Reds game and going to watch one of my son's soccer games this week. Get some stuff done at the studio. My older son's coming in Friday with his fiance. We're going to the Reds game. Then I head back to Detroit, check on what's going on at my lake house. I'm building a bar down on the water. Then Monday I fly to LA. I'm going to be screening Scared to Death with Lynn Shay next week, cleaning up a few things out in LA with Chris Lord-Alge. And then I head back here the 26th of August to the studio. The band all comes in that day. We rehearse. And then we hit the road and we have a show. I believe it's August 31st, the first one at the House of Blues in Dallas with Buck Cherry and Skid Row. And so our three bands, it's the gang's all here tour, and we'll be with them all of September. You can check it out at kurtdeimer.com, all the tour dates or bands in town. And then we'll be doing some dates with just us and Buck Cherry towards the end of September, up in like Montana, and we've never been up there, the Dakotas. And we have a week off from that, and then we head out with Mushroom Head for a whole month of October, about 18 shows across the Midwest and the South. And so we're really stoked, especially with my movies and the horror genre coming out, and to be out with Mushroom Head. We're going to preview Hellbilly Hollow like we do when we open up. And so we've got two great tours in the month of September, October. So that's the immediate plan.
Sounds like the movies are just in time for Halloween too.
Yeah. I should see almost the finished product of Scared to Death when I'm out in LA, and then Hellbilly Hollow. It's just a matter of time when it gets picked up and released, and how it's going to come out. But yeah, the timing is right there, and they'll definitely be out in the next 6 to 8 months. So
Josh Todd from Buck Cherry too is another one of those guys I have a ton of respect for. Just the guy just grinds, They had their hits back in the day. And I talked to him a couple months ago, and he's like, I got a crew that needs to eat. He's like, we do our grind, we put out our record, and we do our tour. And, I got so much respect for that working class ethic among bands.
You got to work, and the fans come out and they're like, I'm sure some have a totally different perception of what the life is like of a rock star, and it's not easy. It's a lot of work, a lot of people to take care of. I take that very seriously. Even in my other companies I did, but I still have before I got back into rock and then stumbled into movies. I take care of my people. You got to take care of people that work hard for you, and it doesn't do them any good to sit at home. We need to be out on the road, honing our craft, and continuing to achieve that goal of every night we go out and we want to play like our goal is to be at Madison Square Garden in as little bit of time as possible. And that's how we approach it, and that's how we mentally attack it everywhere we go on the road. So
fantastic.
I can't wait to meet you. I've never met him, so it's going to be fun to get to know all those guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it seems like based on the kind of stuff that I remember you playing, that's a good fit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great show for everybody. You got us coming out, getting everybody rocking and rolling. Then I think Skid Row and Buck Cherry are going to flip flop. I don't know how they're going to do it, if one's going to headline one night or but who cares? It's three great bands, a great night of rock and roll. And hopefully we'll turn some heads and gain a lot more new followers and fans. So
definitely. Well, do you have anything else that you want to say or promote? Or
well, we just got the website finally up and running. I'm going to be refining the merch stuff more and coming out with some more of a Kurt Deimer lifestyle stuff at kurtdeimer.com. Love for everybody to follow us on Instagram. That page is growing every day. At Kurt Deimer, X, I guess now it's called, at Kurt Deimer. I'll be doing a lot of tweets when we get into the cities, like what time we're going to be starting and stuff like that, communicating more over that. Join the Kurt Deimer fan club on Facebook. more to come with that. We should have a contest coming up here soon. We're going to announce, and I just love to meet all the folks when they come out to our shows. And you can see our tour dates on our website, and our bands in town, or just Google Kurt Deimer, KurtDeimer. You'll find all kinds of stuff from my Halloween movie I was in, photos, articles, interviews with folks such as you, and just help us grow and continue to bring our rock and roll, so I can go on stage for 75 minutes and blow your minds and be crazy as shit. So I'm a little restricted right now.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. Like I said, it hadn't been 2 years yet. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like things have been going great, man. Like I said, I remember talking to you a couple years ago. I saw you guys rock with Yngwie over at the Canyon Club. So
yeah. And that was all part of the path, all part of the journey. And people were like, why are you going out with Yngwie? You're a rock band. I'm like, well, people like rock and roll. And if I don't challenge myself, how am I going to get better at what I do? So
I was actually gonna ask you if you had any interesting Yngwie stories to share, because he's a character, and I was like, man, maybe Kurt has some.
No, Yngwie was very sweet to me, and at the end of the tour, he thanked me. He said, I know all your songs if you ever need a fill-in. And he thanked me for being out on the road with him. I gave him his space, and we had a very good, uneventful tour as far as any conflicts or anything. And we all got along great. His folks were great. And I can't thank him enough for giving me the chance to get more fans with him, and give me the challenge of, getting guitar rock fans that are just into the guitar to hear my band and the songs. And we had people come leaving those shows going, what a great night to hear great rock and roll from your band, and all the songs and the lyrics and everything. And then we got to see, Yngwie, who they were there for.
How many shows did you guys do with Yngwie?
I think it was 20 to 26, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a couple months. And Jeff Tate, I think we did like 40 something with him when back on our first run.
Nationwide.
Yeah, and this year we did some Tesla dates last September. We've done a lot of big shows with Tesla, and we're getting a lot of fans when we play with them. And my manager now is Brian Wheat, who's the bass player at Tesla. So,
oh, nice.
He's been my manager since December of last year, and him and Jimmy Dean, or Dean Robson, who's actually co-manages Tesla with Brian. They've been instrumental in our growth, and we've been playing 3,000-4,000 size crowds with Tesla and winning a lot of new fans. Like my merch lines out the back, so it's
That's
really
super cool.
Boosted us a lot. Yeah, we'll probably be doing some more dates with them coming up too.
Awesome. Well, Kurt, thank you for your time, man. Please stop by again, and
anytime you want me on. Yeah, just Sean is my new publicist, so just anytime you want me on, just reach out to her, and I'm happy to be on your show at any time. And if I'm out in California, which I hope to be soon, let's get together, man, and come out to the show. Yeah,
man. It's funny because I only recently, after interview this year, we kind of just recently kind of leaned into our YouTube a little bit more, and we're really hoping to get, to another level in the next year or two, where my goal is to have like a much nicer camera setup that we can go, like kind of like what we did with you originally, come into your bus and like set up cameras and like actually do a real good quality live podcast with good sound and video. So
yeah, that would be awesome. And I think I might be, once I get my bar built up at my lake house, I've got this huge studio room up there, and I'm going to be putting a rig up there where I can start doing a podcast, talking to the fans. They can call in and just really
awesome.
Share a lot of the different things I've been through in life to get to where I am, because I like to lead people and let them know you don't have to be afraid of the world. You just have to attack it. And hopefully I give them strength to also follow their dreams. And I'd like to start doing that more for folks. So a lot to come, man. There's only so much time in the day, but we'll get through these 2 tours and just go kill it and get more new fans, and sky's the limit. So we're getting there though.
Keep on trucking, man.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for all the love and support. I appreciate it. If you ever need me for shout outs or anything, let me know.
Take care of yourself, brother.
All right, Dustin. Thank you. Peace.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, man.